Welcome into SportsZone. I am your host for today, Elias Freeman. This is our first ever Women's History Month show. The theme for this Women's History Month is leading the change women's shaping a sustainable future, and we are starting that off by our first ever all-women show on SportsZone. I am joined by Beth Spicer and Marcella Anyusi, and we're going to be talking some NWSL. Are you guys ready?
I'm so ready.
I'm so excited.
All right, my first question for y'all is, who's your favorite NWSL team this season? Season just started. Every team has played 2 games. Who's been your favorite so far?
I mean, I have to go with the Thorns. I mean, how do you get 2 red cards in a game and you still win? I mean, I'm talking about my Thorns. I mean, you have Megan Rapinoe as someone who's on your team. You have Rose Lavelle. I mean, how can you not pick with the Thorns? But also, Angel City FC. My girls are #1 in the league. And, you know, when Kristen Press leads your team, you got to keep it up. And they've done that.
Listen, as a Houston native, I have to go with the Houston Dash. They're at number 2
shocked.
right now.
I'm
Listen,
shocked.
I have to go with them. Like, they're number 2 right now. They're doing really, really well. And my absolute favorite this season, and probably every season, is my H-Town hottie, Avery Patterson. You know, she was newcomer of the year for the Dash in 2024 when she was first drafted. She's been incredible since she stepped on the pitch. Last year, she started in all 21 matches and she logged over 1,000 minutes. Like, she's just insane. She's insane on the back line. She really is the one carrying this Houston defense this year.
And I want to give props to her, too. After the Dash played Dallas Trinity, she was the one on defense that every scoring opportunity they got, she was there stopping my girls. So I got to give my props to her. She's good.
Absolutely. With that being said, Houston Dash number 2, what do you think has been their strongest?
Oh, their defense. I mean, like, it's always their defense. It's the middle of the field that they kind of struggle with. Their offense and their defense are really good. It's that midfield that they get a little muddled in, and that's how teams get opportunities off of them. And so with their defense, they're just, I mean, Dallas Trinity only got 1 goal off of them. And so they're good. I got to bring out my girls. They're my girls. Hey,
Bring up Dallas Trinity. I said, oh, I'm sure.
My girls. But their defense is super good. Like, I was like amazed every time I saw them down there, and I was super amazed at their offense as well. I mean, our goalkeeper and our defense was running everywhere. It was the middle of the field that they were giving up chances on, and I think that's where they could end up improving.
Well, that's a good point. I've said this probably a million times on this show, and I will say it probably a million times more. You cannot win without good defense. I think your offense can be pretty weak, and you can still pull something off if you have a solid defense.
Oh,
so,
100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that.
My sister's a defender, so she's agreeing with this statement.
Okay.
If without the defense, the team fails.
Shout out your sister.
Shout out my sister.
Another woman in sports.
Shout out her.
So the craziest game so far has been the Portland Thorns winning 2-0 in their rivalry game versus Seattle. So despite Portland getting 2 red cards, what were your thoughts on that game and how those teams looked?
I would say that game was really aggressive on both sides. Obviously, the Thorns got 2 red cards. One of them was hair pulling, so it was really, really justified, and the other one was a second yellow, so it just is how it goes. But that game was super aggressive between both teams. Even though Seattle didn't score, I wouldn't say they were beat or they were put under over and over and over again. Watching that game, I thought they were pretty even. And so I think it says even though the Thorns are up right now in the rankings and Seattle's pretty low, they're not that far from each other near these rankings in this league right now, only 2 games in, that everyone is about to move like crazy throughout the rest of this time.
I mean, I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit. I think that this showed how weak Seattle's defense is. I mean, look at them during Pietra Torden's goal. Like, they were literally just standing there. Like, they're acting as if the ball is on the complete other side of the pitch. So I think that this just goes to show that they kind of need to clean up their act. And, you know, there was talk that they were, you know, really fatigued and all that stuff, but I'm going to have to disagree with that too. Every single one of these teams has these nutrition coaches, has these coaches that help them with travel and all that stuff. So I just disagree. I just think that it was a weak game and they're trying to find excuses for it. And I don't know, I feel like this is just really a show that, hey, they had 2 less people on the pitch and they were still scoring over you. Like, I think this is like a real wake-up call for them to be like, hey, get your act together. Just me.
I will say Torden had a pass to Turner on the pitch, and that was a beautiful pass.
That was
Let me tell you, it was a gorgeous
ever.
pass.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
like, And there was no one out there. And this is in the first half. We did lose both. We got one red card in the first half. So this was still, we were only down one player at this point when both goals happened. And it was only in the second half that we got the second red card for the Thorns. So I don't know, maybe you're changing my mind. Maybe that defense does need to step up, because they kind of was no one there when Turner scored.
Your losses matter just as much as your wins. I think a loss can tell you a lot more about a team than a win. It's not just when you lose or how much you lose by, but it's how you lose. So,
and towards the end of the game, of course, they were getting so desperate for a goal, when in reality, they should have been relaxed. Like, they had 2 people out, and you're scrambling for this goal, when in reality you really should have been relaxed. You should have been using the numbers as your win, and it's just it was just crazy to me that they were just kind of sitting around doing absolutely nothing.
It was the midfield again. The midfield is what got them. It's always the midfield. It's always the midfield.
I feel like that's a trend in soccer, though, is it not? The midfield is always like, every time I watch soccer, I'm like,
they're the ones running around the most, and so it's like the first to get fatigued, and if they don't sub them out, it's really hard for a team to keep up that midfield going and going again. And both of the red cards on the team, one was on offense, one was on defense. So now your pressure is fully on your midfield the complete rest of the game, and that fatigues people more.
So here's another question. Do you guys think the midfield issues, that trend, has been a coaching issue or a player issue?
I'd say both. I think
honestly,
it's a both
I'm gonna have to agree with that, both.
Because even though, like, obviously these people are athletes and they train their bodies very well, I mean, no one can, I don't know, I personally cannot sprint around for 90 minutes and be fine at the end of it. Like, I'm not gonna keep that up for that long. And so I think these coaches need to learn to, obviously you don't get a ton of subs in NWSL, so you kind of have to play it into your cards, what you're gonna do. But I think, instead of subbing out your offense as often as they do, that subbing out that midfield might be better for the teams.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say something maybe a little controversial, but I've been growing up, I watch Brazilian soccer all the time. I watch English soccer. Those 2 red cards were like completely insane to me. Like, when they happened, because I watched it, when they happened, I was like, guys, come on, like, that was not a red card. Like, I think that—
Okay, wait, the hair pulling wasn't a red card?
That was a yellow at best.
Girl, she came down off of the header and had her hair in her hand and yanked it down.
Listen.
There was no need for her hand to be here grabbing her hair. That was a red card.
Maybe that's a problem that you should take up for yourself. Why is your hair down?
Her hair's in a ponytail, it's long.
Put it in a bun. Listen,
is your hair gonna last in a bun?
I said that this was gonna be a controversial take, but just for me personally, I just did not think that those were red card worthy.
Well, first red card was a second yellow.
Well, yeah.
So that's how it got to the red.
Well,
so that was a yellow card, technically.
So you think we should let divas be divas and leave it at that?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying, actually.
Excellent takes here happening. So my next question, the San Diego Wave took advantage of the recently introduced high-impact player rule, signing Masario from Chelsea in an NWSL record deal for $300,000 with a salary of $8 million. What does the rule and signings like this mean for the league?
I think that this means that we're going to see more people staying in the NWSL longer, and I think that this is going to mean that people want to start in America and they want to stay and they want to do their whole career here. Like, you do see these American players who just go to England automatically because they know that they're going to get better deals, they're going to get better everything in England. But with this new rule, I think that you're finally going to see that, hey, this is going to keep people in America.
I mean, Trinity Rodman is staying in the NWSL because of this new thing in here. And Katarina, she moved to the US when she was 12, but then she went to Chelsea women's team because there's more opportunities abroad for women. And I love the Chelsea women's team. Those are also my girls. So I love this topic myself. But I think it just helps keep people in, and I think it's also kind of weird the way that they have the rules for the high impact players, because some of it's kind of weird. You have to have the top, out of the players on the team, the top 11, you have to have the most minutes played for the national team to get that rule by, which is kind of weird because what happens is someone's injured for a couple of seasons, but they're still a super high impact player. What if Megan Rapinoe was injured for a couple of seasons? Would you still not sign her for a lot of money because it's Megan Rapinoe, but she wouldn't fall in this thing, so I'm not sure.
But then you also have that where teams are going to see that and they're going to make room for that. That's what I think that the Dash are currently trying to do, where they just traded Yasmin Ryan and Delaney Sheehan to the Denver team. but I think that they're making room because they just got $1 million. Like, you have these players like Avery Patterson, you have Jane Campbell, and then you have the up-and-comers as well. I think that teams are going to have to start being financially smart and thinking like, okay, we have this amazing player. Maybe she's not a high-impact player, but we have this amazing player. Let's make room for her. Maybe let's move some of our players over. Maybe let's get some more funds into our club so that they have those things moving forward.
I think that's a great point, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, that retention, when we talk about the WNBA, CBA. But for now, that's all we have for NWSL. And next up, we'll be talking Women's March Madness here on SportsZone.
Property Brothers have won!
It's a jibber jabber. Yes, jibber jabber.
Jibber Jabber is a man-on-the-street NTTV show for Instagram that's in its 7th season. With 2 hosts, 1 comfy chair, and a Would You Do Something bowl.
Pretty much the gist of our show is that we're going to be inviting UNT students, all of our lovely family over, and we're going to be talking to them. And when we run out of things to say, we're going to ask them,
would you do something?
I think we're ready to do something.
Fortnite son or Minecraft daughter?
Welcome back to Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas.
Color the world with peace and joy.
Tell me, Diva, what's the tea?
My Nisha drag is dumb.
The spirits have guided you to me.
Madness. First of all, I just want to say, how underrated is Women's March Madness compared to men's? Because maybe it's just me, but I enjoy women's basketball so much more than I enjoy men's basketball. I feel like it's a lot more fun to watch, and I feel like there's a lot more high-level playmaking, but maybe that's just me.
I totally agree. I love women's basketball. I think that, especially in college, it's a lot more entertaining. I mean, like, the WNBA obviously is super entertaining, but like, college basketball, it's like these girls are like almost the same age as us, if not the same age as us, and it's kind of incredible what they're doing. So it's kind of that's why I love Women's March Madness. What do you think?
I feel like it's really fast-paced. It's even more fast-paced than the men's. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the men's kind of tournaments or like the men's games keep like stopping every single time, and we don't see a lot of action. And with the women's, it's like really in there. Like the plays are there. Most men's also rely a lot on the fouls, so that's kind of there to like keep stopping the games. But with the women's, it's all action every single time.
That's true, and a lot of the media for women's basketball doesn't happen. So it's like these, like the men's March Madness or like men's teams are having these media breaks, and so that's what's happening like with all these stoppages.
Yeah.
It's just like stop because like they're getting media coverage. But the women, however, it's super fast paced. There's not a lot of breaks because they're not getting represented there.
Yeah.
Well, and March Madness is one of my favorite times of year. I was just talking the other day about how if you want to get into basketball, get into college basketball first. Because like, especially with the NBA right now, it's like if you're not shooting threes and like, there's not really any high level playmaking. And it's just, I feel like college basketball right now especially is just so much more fun to watch than professional level leagues. But moving on, getting off of my soapbox, round of 32 just wrapped up, and we have a lot of exciting matchups coming up this Sweet 16. What are you guys looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to like UConn, to see UConn and South Carolina. I feel like those two teams have dominated absolutely. Like, first of all, South Carolina is my favorite right now to like win the whole thing, but I feel like UConn has also dominated. And oh my God, Virginia has been incredible lately. Like, I don't even know how to describe their run, but it's like it's been incredible. Like, I wasn't expecting that to make it so far right now. So it's kind of right there. But I'm really excited to see what South Carolina and UConn have to give us.
I totally agree. I think that a team that I'm super excited to watch is LSU. I think that they've been doing really well, and that's kind of a shocker, if you will.
Yeah, I think you guys have some really good points. I mean, I got to rep UConn. So sorry, Maria, but I'm super excited to see UConn play again. I just think they're such a dominant team.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to seeing what they have to put out there still. Who do you guys think the kind of Cinderella of the tournament has been? Who's been there?
Virginia, 100%. If you haven't watched it, Virginia has been really surprising lately, especially in that one last team against Iowa. Like, Iowa's seed number 2, and they got beat by Virginia, who was seed number 10. That's absolutely insane. Like, no one was expecting that big of an upset in this tournament. But, oh my God, it was, like, insane. And they, like, clutched from shot making from Johnson and Clark, from their 2 players. Those were, like, the 2 players in that game that kind of were, like, the highlights. Kymora Johnson with 28 points in those 15 minutes. That's crazy. And then they got that overtime win too, so that makes it a little bit, like, a lot more exciting to watch, because we had Virginia controlling the pace from the first half. So that's something really exciting from this match, actually. It was, like, literally the biggest upset from the whole tournament that I've seen.
What about you, Maddie? Who's been your Cinderella?
I think my Cinderella is definitely South Dakota State. I think they have been incredible. They had a killer resume. I mean, they've taken down the higher seeds. They have a 5 versus 12. They won. And I just think that it's really good. They have an elite offense. I think it's almost surgical, if you will. It's very it's very thought out, and they do that really well. And so I just feel like their win feels very doable, and I think that it's very possible if we only need hope, guys. That's all we need.
Just gotta lock in a little bit.
Yeah, lock in.
So, next question. Who are you doubting pre-tournament that's kind of shocked you? Who's really come up and just made a show of themselves that you weren't expecting?
Honestly, I mean, I said it before, LSU. I think they were really inconsistent at first during their regular season. I was kind of just like, what's going on here? But they have, like, an interesting offensive reliability. They have sloppy shots, and it's their turnover pressure. Like I said, it's sloppy. It's like they get nervous and then they don't know what to do. And so I was kind of just like, wow, what's really going on here? But then they really turned something around. Now they're physically focused, and honestly, like, if they keep going the way that they are, like, they could win the tournament. What do you think?
Yeah. I was doubting on you with LSU because I actually picked out my bracket to, like, make it to the Final Four at least. So I was thinking LSU was, like, kind of stronger a little bit, but I was really, really doubting TCU right there for some reason. I don't know. I just didn't get the whole cohesion in the team with TCU so far, but they, like, picked it up through the tournament. I didn't really picture them to make it, like, really, really far, but so far I think they're gonna make it big after this. I mean, but still, Virginia is right there.
So, who are your guys' matchup for Elite Eight? I want you guys to walk me through each matchup that you have, who you think is winning, what you're looking forward to, what you think each team needs to do to win that matchup.
Okay, so when I was doing this, I made the bad mistake for my Elite Eight to be Iowa, because I was like, Caitlin Clark, her team's gonna be great, but I was wrong. So first I had Iowa and LSU. Obviously, Iowa lost. So LSU it is. That's who's going to win that one. And then I have UCLA and UConn. Paige Beckers, can't forget her, our Dallas Wings player. And then I had UConn winning that because I just am more faithful in Paige's team. And then I have South Carolina versus North Carolina, which kind of speaks for itself. But I had South Carolina winning. I think they have a great offense and defense, and I think that it's just a good team of girls. And then finally, I have Texas versus Stanford. And Stanford is obviously a great school, but I mean, we're here in Texas, and I think that they're gonna win, so.
Rooting for the hometown team?
Yep, for
awesome.
sure.
I really think Texas, I'm really rooting for Texas too. I had it also on my picks. We had UConn. I'm really rooting for UConn because I want to see what they have in store for us. And I'm also rooting for South Carolina because I'm still doubting on TCU a little bit right there. And
And again, with UCLA against LSU, again, I picked LSU in my bracket to win the whole thing. So I'm rooting for LSU. Just the Tiger girls are so amazing. Like the Tigers have been doing like really, really good. I'm really different with you right now.
Oh yeah,
I'm really all in for LSU so far.
It's all good. I chose UConn to win the whole entire thing. I think that they are a really good team.
Yeah, so. I'm really doubting it right now because like UConn is doing really great and like, but my. I have so many mixed feelings
There's
right
so
now.
many emotions.
Yeah. Right now I'm listening to you. I'm like, oh my God, I should have made a better pick because like I've seen the things from UConn, I've seen the things from South Carolina, and I've seen the things from LSU. And South Carolina seems really, really strong to me right now. So I'm really doubting everything right now. I'm doubting my whole life decisions right now.
No, it's okay. I'm doubting mine. I'm a little confused. Yeah, I'm just like, now I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's why it's March Madness, girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know, guys.
I don't know about y'all. I didn't even make a bracket this year because my bracket last year was busted so bad that I couldn't recover.
Actually, my bracket's doing really good so far. It's like literally my best bracket. It's the best bracket I have. Like my main bracket is the best one so far. The other ones are busted.
The NTTV Sports Associate, they tried to get me to join a bracket league. I said, absolutely not. I'm not going to be embarrassed.
I won the NTTV Sports March Madness last year, and I just need to make that known.
Yep.
Yeah, I locked in for my bracket, guys.
And that's what Women in Sports is all about.
That's what Women in Sports is.
But I was starting to see you so bad, so my bracket's busted.
Well, with that being said, that is going to wrap it up for our Women's March Madness block, and we are going to move on to the WNBA, talking some more women's basketball when we come back.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union Parking Garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my God, this girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my God.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our mean green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
I'm so tired. I feel ugly. I'm not okay. I didn't know UNT had counseling services. Maybe I should check it out. This looks like the place.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I am once again your host, Elias Freeman, and I am once again joined by Miss Beth Spicer, who will be kind of camping out here for the rest of the show with us, and then another special guest, Isabel Smith.
Hello.
We're going to be talking some WNBA.
Yes.
So WNBA just made some intense history.
Yes. Oh my
that
goodness.
new CBA, let's talk about it. We talked about it a little bit in the NWSL about those contract litigations, but huge new improvements. I mean, the new salary cap is $7 million. The average salary is expected to be about $600,000, if I remember correctly. The new Supermax is $1.4 million, and the minimum salary is $300,000, which is more than last year's maximum salary.
Yes.
So huge improvements being made in this WNBA season, which is expanding to 15 teams this season. So, what are we looking at? What do you think this says about the rise of popularity in women's basketball and women's sports as a whole going forward?
I think it says that people watch women's basketball.
Yeah, people watch women's basketball.
People watch women's sports, period.
So true.
Women's sports are important, and I think this really sets the tone of it, because even though women's basketball has existed in Europe for tons of years now. And it's been there, it's been through all the countries and everything else. Like, we've always struggled with it for some reason. I don't know why. We have amazing people here, hello. But I think finally it was that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry that really put us on the spot in women's basketball. And I'm so excited that people are paying attention because I think women's basketball is literally everything, especially college and now the WNBA. And of course, I'm a little biased because we have the Wings.
We do have the Wings.
Yes, we do.
I would love for them to win a few more games this next season than they did last season, but we have a #1 draft pick again. So maybe we'll do something with that this time and a better coach. Maybe we'll do something with that this time. But I am just so excited that players are getting paid what they need to. Obviously, they need to be paid more for how much popularity, honestly, women's basketball is coming into the spotlight. But with this contract being able to be changed annually each season, I think that really sets us up for the future.
What about you, Isabel?
I think one of the biggest things that I'm really excited about is that this creates more visibility for the league. Because a lot of the times, the average salary has been $120,000. And the men's minimum salary for rookies has been $1.7 million. That is
crazy.
That's a huge discrepancy.
To my brother today about how you have professional athletes working 9 to 5.
Yeah, that is a huge discrepancy. And some of these women who are in the WNBA are then having to go overseas. And so it creates kind of that less visibility for them in the off season where a lot of people are like, oh, WNBA is on, oh, it's whatever. I don't see them anytime else in the off season, where now these women can actually stay here, take more of those brand deals, have more opportunity to support themselves and have more opportunity to give visibility to themselves and to the league, which I think is what the league needs. The visibility and what we've been given with, college talents like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and some of the newer college talents that we have right now. I think it's been what has made this boost so needed. So now that we're going to have more visibility in the offseason because these women are being given so much more opportunity in, terms of money, I think that is going to be huge. And I really want to see, maybe a higher payment for women a little bit more down the line.
Absolutely. And I talked about this a little bit in the last block, but I think the WNBA is the more fun league to watch right now.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I agree.
Yeah. I think I see more higher level playmaking and some more raw talent. In the NBA right now, it's all threes. I'm tired of it.
They just run. There's no defense, and this is what makes me mad about men's basketball. There's not a lot of defense going on. They kind of just keep outrunning each other. And
we've got some head shakes behind the camera here.
Oh, I was in the control room saying this earlier. They just kind of kept staring at me, but I'm right. I'm right, actually. Because in men's sports, they can kind of, when one athlete can kind of stand out better compared to others, where in women's sports, it doesn't really exist near as much.
It's more complete teams in the WNBA, which is what I like. You don't have as many superstars carrying a whole team. You have a team that is good together or they are bad together.
Yes.
And I think that's what really matters.
Because even though the Wings had Paige, we still sucked. And because
Paige, what were we, 13th in the league?
Paige could not carry the Wings if she tried. And you know what? Also, Cooper Flag also kind of can't carry the Mavs by himself either, and that's kind of happening. But, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
At times. But, I think it's also really important that with this upcoming season, the #1 draft this year will make $500,000, which is still a lot more compared to last season. But Cooper Flag, his rookie season, made $13.8 million, and that's only part of a 4-year contract. And I think that tells you how long of a way we have to go. But I think that's such a big step over what was it, $45,000 last season, which is crazy. That's not even a really good job, stable job. These girls can make more money with the jobs they could get out of college with their own degrees rather than the sport they are paid to play.
Well, and I think it's a lot of it is baby steps. We saw it a couple years ago with the new minor league baseball CBA. Minor league baseball players used to make less than minimum wage. Now they can actually support themselves. So I think it's those baby steps that really count. But with the CBA being agreed upon, now we have 15 teams in the league. We have the Toronto Timfo and the Portland Fire. So the two organizations are very different directions. For their coaching, WNBA veteran coach Sandy Brondello and Portland hired an NBA assistant Alex Sarama. How do you see these hires and expansion drafts working out? Do you think they'll have success year one?
I think Sandy's team will. How can you not? She coached the Liberty. They won in 2024. Maybe they weren't the best in 2025, but I don't know. They finished second in the Eastern Conference and 5th in the league overall. So, obviously they weren't awful. And maybe I'm just a little PTSD for the Wings and having a men's coach because I'm a little scared.
Can you tell she loves the Wings? Can you tell?
Hey!
I mean, we are in Dallas.
Someone send me a Paige jersey right here, right now, and I will wear it.
So send it in. Fly it in.
I am nothing if not a Dallas Wings supporter, let me tell you.
Oh,
even through all the loss, even through everything. But you know what? We beat the Indiana Fever last year, and it was the best day of my life.
Listen, Paige Beckers was my first ever basketball jersey. She is one of the main reasons I love basketball. So seeing this improvement in women's sports, it's just so exciting to me. And we'll talk about it a little bit on the next block with the PWHL too. But these leagues are so special, and I think it's so inspiring to young women who played sports. I mean, I don't know how many sports you guys played as a kid, but I played hockey, basketball, volleyball. I played all of them.
Everything.
I played
You did
everything. And
I just did softball, but I did dance.
Softball, I never did my toes in. I did all of those. I did dance. I did gymnastics.
I was a theater kid.
I was also a theater kid.
Also a theater kid, yeah.
So I had no free time as a kid.
Do you now? I mean,
well, true. That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Do it to you.
But I think it's just so inspiring looking at these young girls, especially with the growing popularity of basketball as a sport as a whole. Like seeing these superstars in the league, even though they aren't carrying their teams like some of them are in the NBA. Seeing these superstars come into the league and this just raw talent that we have right now. But we talked a little bit about the draft, so we have a couple options here. Dallas has the #1 overall pick. Who do you want to see Dallas? Who do you want to see Dallas take at #1? And then, should they reunite Paige with Azzy or go with the European high potential prospect Awa?
No,
what are we thinking?
They should go with Azzy. They should go. They
I-
should
yeah,
go with their,
I do
need
agree.
them reunited. You know what?
Yes.
And you know what? The WNBA might be the gay girl sport, and I need them back together.
I'm done.
Because listen, the NBA can have whatever, but the W needs the power couples on the court, and that's what I'm here for, and that's what I need.
And it's the same in hockey.
And it's the same in hockey. What do you mean? We have married couples out on the ice together, and they're beating up people together, and I think that's beautiful.
I think that's true love. If you
I think
ask
that's
me.
true love.
But I do think definitely the reunification, especially for this kind of newer era that we're seeing with the Dallas Wings, is definitely like going to help. And I mean, Azzy already sent UConn into the Sweet 16 for the women's March Madness. So, you know, I think definitely with the Dallas Wings track record, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I think that definitely that reunification may be that on-court chemistry, because as we were saying, with WNBA, something really incredible that we see is that it's a team. So we need that team chemistry, we need that decision-making that we kind of have seen between them before. So we just want to, you know, that reunification might be a good thing. I understand why a lot of people are talking about, I guess, this newer prospect, but I think it might lead to a little bit more inconsistency at the beginning. Whereas with this, you have that duo, and then you can focus on kind of building up the rest of your team and building up somebody that's going to take you a little bit farther than we did previously.
Especially with a lot of rookies on the Wings team, well, last season rookies now in their second year. I think this will really help having that dynamic that can already go on the court super well. You don't have to build up that dynamic. That dynamic already exists. And so by helping your the other people on the team like build up their skills around it, I think that's really helpful, because also who doesn't want their skills built around that dynamic duo? Because if I played basketball, I would want my skills built around them too. So I just think it is a super good deal. And something else I want to shout out on the CBA was the extended family benefits that are coming with it. After Liz Cambridge was traded to the Sparks from the Aces in 2023, after she told the Aces that she was pregnant, now with the new CBA, teams must obtain players' consent for trades during pregnancy. And I think that's something really important for women's sports that maybe isn't talked about. Because even though women are seen as like, we have to have the family, we have to do this, obviously with sports, it's really hard. And the men don't get the heat for that, because obviously they're not the ones having the kids, they're just out there. And so I think for women's sports, this is such a big step in the right direction, because why are players being punished for growing their families? And I think also with more money in the league, this allows people to stay in the States with their families, around extended family, around where they were born, where they grew up at, and not have to move abroad for just money so they can live. And so I think overall, even though, yes, the money is such a big thing, I think everything else going on in the CBA really hones in that at the core that women are important to this league super.
And I think a lot of it is women's sports is not being treated as niche anymore. It's being treated as the national and heck, global phenomenon that it deserves to be treated as, because I think for a long time men's sports used to be like the main event, but I think now women's sports are being treated as like, you know, the money makers that they are, and I think we're seeing that. There's over 200 million in new media rights money in the WNBA recently. Yeah, that's insane, and I'm just excited to see the continuous like growth from there, especially with this new CBA.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited for the upcoming WNBA season with 15 teams. With that being said, we will be back with the PWHL, another new league, one of the fastest growing sports in the world right now is women's hockey. We'll be right back.
I warned them that this was dangerous, but did they listen? No!
I've been having these dreams.
Welcome in.
This is part of the process, Eric. I only want what is best for you.
You want me to go on and on with the program until there's nothing left of me.
We are one now. Our goals are the same.
No, they're not.
We're NTTV's longest running Spanish entertainment show, and we're all about culture, creativity, and community in Spanish. Vámonos.
Welcome back to Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas.
Color the world with peace and joy.
Tell me, Diva, what's the tea?
My Nisha drag is dumb.
The spirits have guided you to me.
Welcome back to SportsZone. We're going to be talking some women's hockey. Maybe I'm a little biased. This is my favorite sport, my favorite women's sport too, my favorite women's sports league. So I'm really excited. I'm joined by Beth Spicer and Tina Orozco. Let's talk about it. So the PWHL is nearing the end of its season. 21 games have been played, only 9 left. We're approaching PWHL playoffs. And top of the league is tight. It's a 3-way tie between Minnesota, Montreal, and Boston. Who do you see ending this season #1 in the league?
I would say Minnesota. Minnesota's been consistent all season. They've when you've looked at the top of the ranks this whole entire season, Minnesota's been right there. The Frosts are right there. And maybe it's because they have a really cool name. But I'm just saying, they've always been there right at the top. They have 42 points in the league right now, tied with Boston. And so I just see Minnesota taking it to the end of the league to be first in the league. Yeah. I think they have super good forwards. I think they have super good talent on their team. I mean, how can you not?
I mean, I have to agree. Not on your pick, but I do agree that Minnesota, it's definitely gonna be a close run to first. I have Boston winning by 2 or 3 points. It's gonna be super close though, especially third too, but those two it's gonna be a tough race, and I don't want to spoil my pick for title contenders and winner, but it's going to be those two that are going to be really performing well and just having a good battle at the end of it all. Yeah.
I mean, I have to go with Minnesota.
Yeah. Girls.
The past couple seasons, they have just been so dominant. Like literally, like almost nobody's able to compete with them except for right now. Boston and Montreal. But I do also think Boston really has their hat in this race. Yeah. I think Boston is super strong, which I didn't anticipate considering they lost their captain this season, Hillary Knight, who is notoriously one of the best captains in women's sports, in sports in general. She's fantastic. She's always, how many teams has she led to a Like, oh my gosh, she is such a powerhouse, and I did not expect them to be as solid as they are, losing their captain. So I've been really impressed with Boston this season.
I'll also add, Boston's currently playing Vancouver right now in the third period, and they're up 1 goal. I think it might have changed it within like 5 minutes, but they're closer enough right now to Minnesota.
Well, we talked about You think Boston's going to win by like 2 or 3 points,
Yeah,
right?
like barely. It's gonna with the goal differential. It's very close with Minnesota.
Let's talk about the points rules in the PWHL. We haven't really talked about the PWHL on SportsZone before because it's still such a new league.
Right.
But the points rules are so much different than the NHL. So we have 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime loss, 1 point for an
Overtime
1 point for an
win.
overtime win. 1 point for an overtime loss, 0 points for a regulation loss. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's something that NHL should implement?
I think so. I think it makes it the most even because I think it really does put like where you're supposed to be, because even though whatever, yes, you lost in overtime, obviously you still need your point. And then if you win in overtime, you need 2 points because you did have to take it out of regulation.
overtime.
Yes. And I think it's a super easy system, makes the points like super easy to follow. There's nothing crazy going on. And I think it just makes the system overall better.
I think with the PWHL being so new, it's only 3-4 years old. I think the point system is great because you get down to things like this, these tiebreakers, 3-way ties. And it's just so exciting for such a growing sport, especially after the Olympics. And I think it's just continuing the growth of like the excitement for this.
I think it follows with like soccer, how soccer is so close in its point system the entire time.
I was
So you're
gonna say,
looking
like
at
F1 too. It comes down to stuff like that.
I think it makes it more interesting because you really are that close neck and neck the entire season, and I think it just makes it more interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's more indicative of team ability.
Yes.
And I think we see a lot of rules in the PWHL that aren't implemented in the NHL that are really fascinating. Like the jailbreak rule, I think is one of the greatest rules in hockey. And I don't know why that's not in the NHL. I think if anybody scores on the power play, the team should be let out, the player should be let out.
Yes, I think
you score shorthanded, that player should be let out of the box because clearly they aren't doing anything on the penalty kill.
How fun is that? That's
I know,
so
it's
exciting.
I think the PWHL is just such a fun league to watch.
I think so too.
so interesting.
I think women's sports just have more fun rules than the men's sport. Especially
They're getting innovative.
Shout out to Unrivaled that has I love the 10-point thing at the end of the game. It's so much more fun than just regular games. I love it so much.
I'd agree, but I have to ask you guys, who is your MVP pick for this season? Me personally, I have to go with Taylor Heisey, the first ever #1 overall pick in the PWHL. I just think she is constantly so impressive, so dominant. I mean, she has 2 Walters under her belt, and there's been 2 in the history of the league. I think she is just such an impressive player, and I think she's carried that into this season when I feel like this is kind of the point in a player's prime that you see them start to kind of fall back. Yeah. And I think she's been super impressive. What are your guys' picks for MVP?
I think Kelly Panic, honestly. She has 12 points this season. She has 22 points overall with 10 assists. And so I think she's just super consistent for the Frost. I think she's just super good. She's right there every time. Like, if I'm watching Minnesota play, I'm seeing her right there every single time. Every time I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna score. She's right there. She's always right there. And so I think my girl deserves to get MVP because she really is just that girl on Minnesota. And maybe I just like saying Minnesota. That's maybe why I picked it.
Minnesota is a fun word to say.
It is really fun in a southern accent that I'm like, oh, this, you know what? Yeah, it's a Minnesota.
What about you, Tina? Who's your MVP?
For me, I'm going for Boston again. Erin Frankel.
Oh,
yes. I think it would be such a cool thing for the first goaltender to be nominated or even win the Billie Jean King MVP award. She is outstanding. She's a consistent asset for Boston. 12 of their 21 games have come down to a 1-goal deficit, and she comes out on top in these pressure-filled moments. It's just so exciting to see things like that. She also has 14 wins, a career high. I know she's only been playing for, a few years now, but still, I think it's just awesome to be able to maybe witness that nomination of a goaltender and a defensive woman like that, and possibly win. I think that'd be really cool.
Yes. Okay, I'm changing my pick because I think it would be incredible.
Yeah, I do too. I think you're right. I think you might win. Yeah.
She's
so good.
Set a record for most shutouts in a season. What does she have, 5 now?
Yeah.
Yes. 5 and 14 wins.
Also, a .95 save percentage is insane.
Yes.
She's so insane. And the Olympics?
Yeah.
Those shutouts are not counting her 4 in the Olympics, her 3 or 4 in the Olympics.
Yeah.
She is such an impressive goaltender, and I feel like she's not talked about enough in the grand scheme of hockey.
I also have to add, this is a sport that I'm barely getting into because of the Olympics, but she was one of the main people where I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get into this because she's awesome. I think she's fantastic.
She's so good.
She's phenomenal in the PWHL.
Yeah.
I think she is a super special player to watch, and I really like your pick.
I really do too. I agree with you. I'm changing mine to yours.
Everyone's on board now.
Yes.
So that being said, who's your guys' title favorite? I know mine is Montreal.
Okay.
Maybe I just really like their jerseys, but I've been a huge fan of Montreal this season. Yeah. I'm super rooting for them to break that three-peat. I love Minnesota, but I don't want to see the three-peat. I want to see Montreal win their first Walter.
I do too. I really want Montreal to go. Even though I love Minnesota and I love saying their name, I don't want them to win. I want you to finish first. I just don't want you to win. I really want Montreal to win. Also, it's Valkyrie. I mean, who doesn't want the Valkyrie to win? But I think it'd be super cool, especially right now. They're 2 points behind Boston and Minnesota. So by chilling back there and letting those two kind of battle head-to-head over and over these next few games, it allows them to kind of swoop in.
Be the underdog?
Yes, be the underdog and take it. And maybe this is just being a Stars fan and every year just like, let's go. But I want Montreal to be my let's go this year.
I know I've picked Boston for the other two picks, but I am picking Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
I think there's just been like this weird consistent with like women's sports of getting like consecutive championships and winning, and I see that going on right now. They have such an elite offense, and I think the coaching from Ken Klee, he just really knows how to maximize his team and how to diversify depending on, the team and adapting to that. And I think because of the matchups that they'll face, like Boston or Montreal, he'll be able to be prepared for that, and I just think they'll win. They have a very star-studded team as well. There's some amazing women on that team that we also saw in the Olympics as well.
Yes, with only 8 teams, it's so hard to pick who's going to do what, because it's like I don't want to root against anybody. I can't hate anybody.
Everyone wins. Everyone gets a trophy.
It's all like so fun to watch. And with that being said, so you think we're going to see a Minnesota three-peat or a hat trick, if you will? Sorry, I had to go for the joke there.
Yes. A hat trick from Minnesota. Let's keep the consecutive going.
Let's go.
I've got to say, I'm not going to be disappointed with anybody winning the title, because PWHL playoffs are so
fun.
Are so fun.
Even though I love watching the Stars every season, they just kind of make me mad at the end. But at least with PWHL, without having a Dallas team, I'm just kind of like, you know what? All right, number one, let's go with you. Oh, we lost. It's okay. I want this team now. All right, let's go. Oh, okay.
All roads, like a perpetual bandwagon.
All roads lead back to Minnesota, and you know what? That's okay because we're supporting women's sports, and that's what matters. And
you mentioned that we don't have a Dallas team. Do you think that's a potential expansion team in the next decade or so?
I would say in the next decade, we're definitely gonna have to get a team in like Missouri. We're definitely gonna have to start bringing it down a little bit more than it is right now.
Start bringing it down south. I agree.
And I think because we're pretty far down here.
Dallas has
become such a big
hockey like environment here at all levels. We have youth, high school. You get up to minors, and then Dallas Stars and other leagues too. So I think they could get a women's team.
I'm so sad I was not here for the takeover in Dallas. I am actually so mad about it. You know how bad I wanted to be here. Sadly, it just didn't work out with my schedule. But there are tons of youth groups through which the Stars fund. And there's tons and tons and tons of teams. We have the capacity to have women's hockey here.
We have a ton of Dallas sports complexes. We could just throw a rink in there.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with the AAC if the Stars move? I'm just saying, women's team have an arena already built for them. We don't have to build another one. We can just move right in, is all I'm saying.
And with that being said, my last question is the U Sports, or the Canadian NCAA, is now allowing players that are drafted by the PWHL to play in their teams. Do you guys think that's something the NHL should implement? And should the NCAA adopt it?
I mean, I could see it working out, especially with how the league is going. To make it keep growing, I don't see that it's a bad thing at the moment. I think that it helps get exposure. It helps bring more to the teams. It's saying, oh, well, they play here in Minnesota, but they're moving to Seattle. Well, that's 2 different markets that this player's now in and bringing people into. And I think that works out pretty well. The only concern I have is just the wear and tear on the athletes themselves, because it's so much work and it's a ton, and those are 2 different balances between getting paid professionally and just doing it in college, which obviously you're still going to get NIL money, but that's a different conversation. And so I think it provides maybe some conflicts going on, especially if you're drafted by a team that is nowhere near where you played college at. I think that becomes kind of a concern. And so I don't know.
I mean, of course it's going to help, flexibility between that gap of like a harsh university to professional level. But, I guess there are some kinks to work out because it's such a new thing, and, we don't know all the realms that it might affect, but I guess it's something to look into.
I'm in favor of it. I think we see it work in the NHL. I mean, some of the best players in the league right now have gone through college. had that extra development. So I think it is something worth watching and seeing if the NCAA adapts it. But with that being said, I will be back with Tina and Beth once again to talk some hometown UNT softball. We'll be right back.
I warned them that this was dangerous, but did they listen? No!
I've been having these dreams.
Welcome in.
This is part of the process, Eric. I only want what is best for you.
You want me to go on and on with the program.
I'm so tired. I feel ugly. I'm not okay. I didn't know UNT had counseling services. Maybe I should check it out. This looks like the place.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union parking garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my god, this girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my god.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our mean green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe. Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm your host, Elias Freeman. I am once again joined by Beth Spicer.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Best at my name, okay.
Beth Spicer and Tina Orozco. We're going to be talking some UNT softball. Last time we talked UNT softball on SportsZone, they were coming off a big loss to Oklahoma right before conference play started. But that loss didn't knock them off course, and they got off to a program record 6-0 start in conference play after sweeping Tulsa and UAB. They lost their first game to UTSA, but are still near the top of the conference, as we see. Do you think this was a fluke of a start, or will UNT keep this winning streak going?
No, I don't think it's a fluke. I think we've got it. I think, yes, like going off of winning 6 straight games, like you're gonna be kind of like timid in what we're gonna do. So I don't think losing the first game to UTSA really means a ton for us right now. UTSA is third in the conference, so yes, they're still up there. It's not like we're losing to like last in the conference. There's a difference. And so I think we're just competitive. I don't know if it means we're gonna be the first like top of the conference the entire season, or if we're gonna end up there, but I think it means we're really competitive in what we do. And I'm really excited, especially for a first-year coach, that this is super exciting. And like, we got run-ruled by Oklahoma. They also run-ruled 13 other schools, okay? We can't put too much on us with Oklahoma. That's the softball nation, okay? The whole thing of softball exists just in Oklahoma. Yes. So like the World Series for softball is held in Oklahoma, even if they're not playing. Shout out Texas and Texas Tech last year, and Texas won. Go my Longhorns. But
Go Nyjah, sorry.
Oh.
No, but I think with the loss with UTSA, they lost 5-2 that morning, and then in the afternoon they came back. They came in double digits in the second game, so it was just maybe a little slip up. I mean, defensively with that, I don't think the pitching was quite well that day, and I think they're continuing to grow. Will still continue within the conference. You know, we see South Florida, UTSA, but you know they're competition for us, but I think we got this in the bag, you know, tournament-wise.
Well, I think you bring up a really interesting point, Beth, too, of this is a first-year coach. And what I interviewed our new coach last semester and during some fall ball, and he was talking about how, like, one of the biggest things that they're pushing this season has been a team.
Yeah. Yes.
They want to be a team. They don't want to be those star players. They don't want to be defense and offense. They want to be a complete team. So they've been working a lot on chemistry and team building and all of that. How much of a role do you think that has played in this hot start?
I think it's played everything in this hot start. I think especially coming off of beginning of the season. So this is where having that team dynamic really does play a role in what we're doing. And that's what I think gave us this hot start, is doing all of that, is being a team that even though when things like, whenever I was at the Oklahoma game, it wasn't pretty at all. But that's
Oklahoma.
It is Oklahoma.
Yeah,
but
it's Oklahoma.
That is to say, you weren't seeing defense and offense on our team. You were seeing UNT as a team going out there, even though it was not going well. It wasn't that they were sitting there blaming each other. It wasn't offense versus defense. It was a team, and it was saying, this sucks, this is not what we want to do, but that's okay because we are us. And so I think with that, it let us, I mean, I'm so glad we beat Tulsa because, you know, especially since the men lost to Tulsa. So don't like Tulsa at the moment either. But I'm really glad that it gave us that. I mean, this is our best historic sweep for our team. And so it's like we're making history with a new coach. And I think that's super important with this team aspect.
I mean, with Coach White, you know, of course it's an adjustment, but it's something that, you know, for this debut, it's just bound to happen, adjusting with the new team, with new girls or staff. I know he has said himself that he's excited for this atmosphere and challenge with conference play, and I feel like he's prepared his team and his staff well enough for them to face the challenges that they will in these upcoming games. I mean, they're playing ACU and Charlotte these upcoming games, which are going to be tough competition, but I feel like he has prepared his team well enough to face these guys.
I think he's done a great job this season. And that was another thing that I spoke to him about, is a big thing with him is he's excited to be in North Texas.
Yeah.
He said that he wants to be here. This isn't a consolation prize for him. He thinks this is a competitive team. A lot of girls came back who were intending to leave, came back because Coach White is here. I think that's super exciting, and I think there's a real chance in conference play here, and maybe in the conference tournament. And that leads into my next question is, could UNT end up winning the conference tournament for what would be the first time in program history since they joined the American?
Oh yes, I believe we can. I think especially with this coming off of Tulsa and coming off of UAB, that we've got this. We know what we're doing. Obviously, we still have the rest of the season to find our flow, exactly what works for us. And so coming off of this good start, dropping the first one to UTSA, but winning the second one, we've got this. We know how our rhythm works. We're building that rhythm. And I think that's what's going to get us. That's what's going to get us to winning in conference in that tournament, because we know what to do. We know what we're doing. And I think that's super important for us.
Yeah, not only visually have we seen this change of a team, you know, throughout the season, they've tremendously gotten better and improved just as a team, but numerically, they're first in the standings. They're hitting .353 in conference play, as well as a 2.3 almost 3 ERA in conference games, which are amazing numbers to get into. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to get first or second seed within the conference. I mean, obviously that's probably the best move for them tournament-wise. Gives them most momentum within the other teams. You know, they'll go and face number 7 or number 8 within the conference their first game, which will give them a boost. I see them going pretty far in the conference or even winning it.
Yeah, so let's get into a little bit more specifics. Who has been your guys' best hitter so far this season?
Elizabeth Moffitt.
Yep.
I mean, who else can you say it?
Yeah,
my girl. I mean,
hard to agree on that one.
We're both bets. I get her, she gets me. So I think I am so excited to see her hit, especially because I sucked at hitting in softball. So I'm like, this girl put some good news on my name.
Why do you think I never played softball?
Oh, I was really bad at it.
I couldn't swing at a ball if it was walking.
I played 2 seasons. I hit 1 foul ball once.
Hey. Contact is contact.
Contact was contact. My dad was proud of me because probably was all I could do. But I think she's super good for this team. I think she's been driving us a lot, especially in the last few games. She's been getting lots of singles and doubles. Even if I don't particularly take the best hitter as the one who has to hit the most home runs, just the one who is moving us across the field all of the time, who is moving everyone, who is getting our runners and who is not leaving runners on base. I think that is the most important hitter for this team.
Yes, I know we're talking about best hitter. She's a transfer from Tech. Shout out to Lubbock. But I mean, it's great to get a D1, transfer like that to UNT, building this team. She has a .444 batting average, 25 RBIs this season. Not only that, but she's an amazing catcher. I've seen her perform. She's so elevated with her pitching staff. She's just a great addition to the team, and it's amazing seeing her play and hit.
25 RBIs is an insane.
Right? Yes.
an insane stat, and I think it's an underrated stat. A lot of people talk about those home runs, but like,
Yeah.
how are you winning games if you're not batting right?
She's getting girls around the base.
That's who's the most important hitter is.
getting
It's
the
not who
runs
can.
in.
You can hit home runs, but if you're leaving people straight on base consistently, you're not my best hitter on my team.
Yep. A 512 OBS, by the way, too. So
Yes.
she's just like kind of killing it offensively.
So who has been the driving force behind this hot start, do you guys think? Will this continue to be a strength, and is it a small sample size boosting them up? I think, for me, I think it's been defense has been what I think has driven them to this point, but what do you guys think?
I think it's also been on defense. I want to shout out Annika Anderson here, my girl. I love her pitching. I think she's super good. She's super consistent. She gets those, even if she gets them to full count, she's getting them to swing every time at that strike. She's getting a K, and I love that about her. I love that she is getting us through the game. Even maybe it takes a little bit longer, but I don't think that really matters too much with this team. Because our defense is so good, we're good for ability. We're good to last the entirety of the game. And so, I mean, if we're getting 3 outs in a row, I don't care if it takes full count. We're still getting outs.
I think, defensively, most importantly, pitching has made an outstanding improvement. Just the pitching performances, obviously Annika Anderson, but also Brittany Lewinsky. She's pitched 100 innings, just a little bit over, 100.1 innings for the season with a 4.10 ERA. She's done incredible for UNT. That's a lot of innings to have on your arm, along with Annika too, but it's been very much an improvement, and I see that still sustaining through the conference play with these girls and our pitchers. We have 2 other pitchers too who are still growing, but Annika and Brittany have been outstanding.
Well,
so
Brittany
far.
is one of those girls who came back because of Coach White. She was another player I interviewed and talked to her about Coach White, and she was super excited to be here because of him. So I think that's,
I
I'm really
think it
excited
speaks
about
to
this
their
season.
coaching. I mean, that's just incredible to have that sort of influence on your players.
Yeah. But with that being said, this has been our Women's History Month special. We made history here tonight with the first all-women's show and the first Women's History Month special. So watch women's sports. That's what we're getting at here. Women's sports are super fun to watch. We have some great competitiveness in those sports. But we'll be back here Thursday at 7:30, and as well as next Tuesday again. I've been your host, Elias Freeman. Thanks for watching.